Hello everyone and welcome to my painting stream. Today we are going to paint a lovely sunset scene, and I'm thinking with the last couple pink and purple paintings we've been doing, I'm just going to keep on doing pink and purple until Valentine's Day because that's kind of thematic and fun. If you're interested in the reference photo, it's on my art community Discord, which is linked in the description of the video. So this is what we're going to base it on, this vibe. I really like the background mountains, how they kind of blend into the sky. So I'm going to retain that, but everything else is going to change. So I structured the layout to have better composition. I added some clouds that hug the focal point, which is going to be the sun, the light source, which I'm moving over to the left. And so here is our thumbnail and our composition work. This is Nature's Whispers number 26 going on the book. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with our gold underpainting with our big soft filbert brush, making sure to have intentional brush strokes and establish the value while I paint. I like to start with things that are a little bit darker, or the darkest. Because it's easier to add water to this color and just brush it over the top of everything at the end to make sure all of the white paper is covered up. Purple builds really nicely on this gold color. You see a lot of these photos and paintings because they're quite lovely, but then I really don't like it when they are painted with flat black for all the silhouettes. So we're not going to do any of that. No flat black. I don't use black in any of my paintings anyway. I use a mixed dark value, and I am pretty much, well, almost always shifting it either towards the warm side of things or the cool side of things, depending on what I need. Another thing that I will note while I'm locking in this color is I think it's boring when you have the reflection in the water the exact same mirror as what you're already looking at in the shoreline. I'm just not particularly interested in painting the exact same thing and the exact same shapes again, but like a less interesting version of it. So I like to either put it on an angle or make it disappear off the paper. And it has a better line bringing you in. Going to be negative painting and positive painting trees, so it's going to be a lot of back and forth. And the sky is going to be not quite dusk, but it's pretty heavy on the cloud cover. Here's the background mountains, and then the top of the lake. There's going to be bright sky popping through this tree. That'll be pretty yellow. Okay, now to cover up the white. And that's why I like doing the lighter value at the end, because it just goes on really quick. Doesn't have to be complicated. Okay, now I'm gonna do the sky because I'm gonna put the sky color in. I mean, almost this whole thing is sky colors. Just some version of it. I'm gonna start in the dark values on the sky and work my way down to the horizon, and then I'm gonna do the same thing in the reflection here, or something very similar. There's gonna be some little water wavy marks in there as well. Putting that brush away for now, and I'm gonna pick up the smaller filbert brush. I'm gonna mix a purple out of mostly cerulean blue. And then magenta. Okay, I like this purple. This is a nice medium purple. I'm gonna need some different variations of that. There's also a bright pink that I might put on first and then overlap this blue or purple on top of. A little bit more vibrant, but I'm going to mix that with the cad red. Just giving myself a good assortment of color to pick from right there. There's our cadmium red pink, which is almost towards a melon. And then let's do something that's more like an orange. Okay, great. That gives us a lot to pull from. I'll just be mixing subtle variations on the edge of those paint piles there. There is one more color that I want to make ahead of time, and it's going to be a purple with the ultramarine. Real dark, dark. That's going to be our darkest value right there. I'm going to make one side a little bit lighter. Okay. Sometimes this part is overwhelming. Let's just start putting some colors on. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Just go with the plan. Sometimes, you know, the sky on a sunset is transitioning along with the clouds. And so it's easy to lose track, especially when I am changing so much from the reference photo. I don't even know if you'd call it a reference photo at that point. It's like an inspired by photo. Okay, now things need to start getting lighter. As we get closer to the spot, the sun's going to be right here. I'm gonna grab my flat brush and I'm gonna start with white, right where the sun's gonna be. And then go to cadmium yellow light. That's all mountain right there. I'm gonna have to remember that as I'm painting. Okay, now the orange. I'm going to change the angle of my brush as I paint this on to kind of make some different shapes. Okay, now pink. Okay, so now I have those background mountains painted, and I am waiting for this blue to dry, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate a lot of these pinks and purples just like right over it, and I'm going to be dry brushing over it, which is why I wanted to get those in first. But ideally you want to have your white and your yellow done and paint over that, because you can't paint the white and the yellow very effectively over dark values. It's just, things turn green and it becomes kind of a mess. So this is the way we want to go. We just want to build up transparent layers over it. So I'm going to be going back and forth from the sky to the reflection and doing lots and lots of layers and blending. Lots until I'm happy with the balance and the mixing of everything. That's going to be a big deal. Not until I'm happy with that will I move into the silhouettes. The silhouettes are going to come last, and then I'll dabble in some light over them. So here we go. I'm always striving to make different natural shapes with the few brushes that I'm employing all the time. It is amazing what you can get when you drag at different angles. So when you're playing around with brushes that you want to love, you want to know what they are going to do for you, then make sure to change your painting angle a bunch, because you don't just have pressure and shaping on the palette, you also have angle, and you can just drag things really horizontal to the page and almost get like a palette knife random organic shape. And when you're doing shapes like clouds and trees, you want a lot of that random variation. It's not my favorite when I see a tree or a cloud where I can see the exact same paintbrush bristle like over and over and over again. It could be cuter. I'm not gonna say it's not cute. Some of them are very cute, those paintings. But it's just something that your eye will find. We have a natural inclination to pick up on patterns. So wherever we can see them, we will see them.
just one.
I'm taking my time and carefully placing each brush stroke because I don't want it to get overworked, and I find that to keep your painting loose, instead of going faster, a lot of people say to go faster. And after trying many different things on many paintings, I've found that to stay looser with your brush strokes, you actually employ more planning and go slower with each brush stroke, with each intentional placement of paint. And the sooner you start with intention on your base layers, and the more you plan out what you're going to do, then the less brush strokes you can make. And then that is what makes things more loose. And then also letting go of details as you move away from the focal point will also make your painting loose. And once again, the more you plan, the more you can do that, because everything is covered. Everything was started with intention from the very base layer. So that is what I've found to be true for me, and everybody's going to be a little different. Now, if you paint really fast, you can get lucky, or if you're really good, you know what direction you're going in, then you know, like everyone is different. Different things are going to happen in different paintings, and more than one thing can be true at one time. Alright, now I'm going to put some of that blue into the reflection, and I'm not going to be afraid to use water here because that's going to help blend it, and I'm going to use the flat brush and a lot of back and forth skinny side strokes. color is going to be nice to break up some of the darks. Okay, I'm gonna let the sky dry and I'm gonna do some dry brushing of the pinks back onto that blue color and then dry brush some more purple after it's all completely stable. So I'm gonna do this kind of background tree clump here. This, what is it? It's not like it's a peninsula or something like that. The landmass that's sticking into the water. I'm gonna start with a warmer purple as it is closer to the side of the sun with the sun on it. First of all, I'm gonna give myself a baseline first, because I've lost a lot of my drawing that would keep me on track. I'm gonna put in really sketchy shapes. I went ahead and cut some negative shapes into these top trees here, but I might alter them a little bit. There might be a little too many. They might be a little too similar. I made some vertical brush strokes in these trees here, but when I applied the reflection, I kept all those strokes horizontal with the movement of the water. Okay, now we can move on to the left bank. Okay, so I'm gonna have to layer up the reflection, and then I'm gonna be bringing some of the lights back in between the branches of the trees, but they're gonna be in horizontal brushstroke mode. Right now I'm going to positive paint all these trees on our somewhat foreground trees with dainty brush strokes from the script brush. So I am just using the tip of my brush and I am sketching shapes on, but I kind of feel like the motion that I'm making when I am applying these branches is dancing. I'm just dancing around the paper with my brush, and I'm just visualizing little branches. And I'm making sure that there's area where the sky can shine through. I can always add more, but it's a lot harder to take away. But these are things I just see kind of in my head, just from observation and lots and lots and lots of painted trees. I mean, I've probably painted in the millions, if you count the small trees. Many, many, many tree shapes. Lots of work trying to get interesting forms. I find it endlessly fascinating. Just got to make sure that each one looks like it connects to something. Gotta be careful around here. Every once in a while you get a errant dog hair. It'll just jump into your paint. And if you don't see it, it could wreak absolute havoc. I've been very careful. And then, of course, my pieces are very detailed, so you would definitely notice dog hair. Like, I could see how some painting styles you wouldn't really notice too much of that. In this, you most likely would. It would be not the most cute thing. However, if you ever buy a painting and there is a dog hair in it, consider yourself very lucky, because that would be rare and like a certificate of authenticity, like the golden ticket, because it means I also didn't notice it, which means it's very subtle. Love these guys. Love them. That's all coming together very nicely. Gotta switch to another brush. Oh yeah, the vibe is starting to come together when we do some dry brushing and incorporating a little bit more incorporation in the water. It's good. It's coming along the way we want it, but we're pretty much completely departed from the inspiration photo at this point.
So tired of hiding loose, of seeking peace far from home, obsessed with what and who stole my joy. My fears are dragging me down to the liver.
think I'm going to use the small point brush to do the dry brushing in the sky because we're starting to deal in some very fine details and I don't want to overstep my bounds. So I'm just going to be taking different colors that we put up in there, and drag them back and forth over the colors that we've used. Some areas need a little bit of blending, they're just a little too hard, like this. I'm gonna soften that up a little bit. And then a couple of little wispies. Gotta have wispies. More wispies. Okay, so I know the reference photo, what the purple is doing in the sky is actually really funny. It's like gradating from the, let's call it the non-cloud space, and then it's gradating in the cloud space also, because all of it's the sky, right? But in the painting, I'm trying to do what I feel like is just best for the sky composition. But sometimes, you know, I get genuine amusement out of how difficult something is. So, the decisions that I'm making right now are difficult, and it's a funny experience. I know, I know, I know that's weird. I'm really thinking about each place I put paint, and it's engaging to say the least. Okay, now to soften up that yellow, the yellow onto that orange cloud there. Running out of clean paper towel because we're doing a lot of color changes and a lot of mixing and a lot of going from cool to warm colors, and that'll gray up everything really fast when you're going from cool to warm and back and forth. I'm gonna have to touch that spot just a little bit when it's dry. Because even though I'm being delicate, it is lifting just a little bit. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to add some little negative shapes into the reflection and possibly the trees, just to get some different bird holes going on here and there. Just going to do some minor adjustments. There is something about this step that really makes it come alive. Okay, so I see the sky, that little part that I was trying to soften up, it is just about there. There's one little tiny edge. You might not even be able to see it, which would be my preference. But I can see it right here in front of me. I'm just gonna do a little white cloud on this edge that I can see. And then I'm gonna drag it in a couple other places so that it's nice and looks like it belongs there. Okay, now I'm going to take the script brush and I'm going to put a couple little shiny accents in the water. And it's going to be heavy on the water, the light blue purple color. Little horizontal brush stroke on, and I'm going to do like a light lightly dabbed on dotted line. This is gonna dry more transparent than it appears. To you right now. Okay, there's our shoreline. I think we're about there. I am going to add a little bit of white to these yellow bird holes that are right here. I think they need to be more vibrant, a little bit more vibrant. I'm going to use a tiny point brush. But is it tiny enough? This is a 3-0, but the thing is the tip has been fuzzed out a bit. And if I spin it with water in it and try to get it to a point, I'm not even sure. Let's see if I can shape it in the palette to get it a little bit sharper than that, because that it's kind of doing that action at the end. Sometimes a dab of paint and a little bit of spinning in the palette will do it. And if you can't get it to a point, you might be able to get it to like a chisel and be able to work with that. You could try. Okay, that's mountain, this is sky. But I warm up the tree right in front of where the sunspot is. The thing is, it's not very powerful sun that's coming through there. That's why I didn't do that. I really didn't think that it was close enough to warrant any kind of warmth on the trees. But I'll just put a little bit just around, you know, since we're talking about it. It'll be a subtle detail for the owner of the painting. I'm not sure if it will even come out in the print, but maybe. Maybe it will. I mean, I can see it. I can see it. It's a nice gradient. And it is subtle. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I am happy with the feeling of all of this. I keep on thinking, like, do I want to bring more pink into the reflection right here, or do I want to bring more orange into the mountain right there? But I feel like I might be happy with that, like the way it is right now. Like, I feel like it's fine, because then the reflection of the mountain would be different right here, and I like the way that transitions from the orange to the mountain color. The reflection is different than the mountain here, and I enjoy that. I think that's nice. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and hanging out during the making of this Sunset Lake painting. Pink paintings all the way until Valentine's Day. If you go on my Instagram, you can vote on what kind of pink painting we'll do. I'll get some options up on there. Will we do mountains? Will we do coastal? I don't know. It's all up in the air at this point. Until next time, happy painting.